I have never met a man so ignorant that I couldn't learn something from him. The laws of nature are written by the hand of God, in the language of mathematics. To understand the universe, you must understand the language in which it's written, the language of mathematics. You can't teach anybody anything, only make them realize the answers are already inside them. Nothing occurs contrary to nature, except the impossible, and that never occurs. The prohibition of science would be contrary to the Bible, which in hundreds of places teaches us how the greatness and the glory of God shine forth marvelously in all his works, and is to be read above all in the open book of the heavens. If you could see the earth illuminated, when you were in a place as dark as night, it would look to you more splendid than the moon. You may force me to say what you wish, you may revile me for saying what I do. But it moves. I do not feel obliged to believe that the same God who has endowed us with sense, reason, and intellect has intended us to forego their use. Nature is relentless and unchangeable, and it is indifferent as to whether its hidden reasons and actions are understandable to man or not. I do not think it is necessary to believe that the same God who has given us our senses, reason, and intelligence wished us to abandon their use, giving us by some other means the information that we could gain through them. You cannot teach a man anything, you can only help him find it within himself. Philosophy is written in that great book, which ever lies before our eyes, I mean the universe, but we cannot understand it if we do not first learn the language and grasp the symbols in which it is written. God is known by nature in his works, and by doctrine in his revealed word. Holy Scripture could never lie or err. Its decrees are of absolute and inviolable truth. Mathematics is the key and door to the sciences. In questions of science, the authority of 1,000 is not worth the humble reasoning of a single individual. Scripture is a book about going to heaven. It's not a book about how the heavens go. All truths are easy to understand, once they are discovered, the point is to discover them. The sun, with all those planets revolving around it, and dependent on it, can still ripen a bunch of grapes, as if it had nothing else in the universe to do. With regard to matters requiring thought, the less people know and understand about them, the more positively they attempt to argue concerning them. In the sciences, the authority of thousands of opinions is not worth as much as one tiny spark of reason in an individual man. It is surely harmful to souls to make it a heresy to believe what is proved. See now the power of truth, the same experiment which at first glance seemed to show one thing, when more carefully examined, assures us of the contrary. To be humane, we must ever be ready to pronounce that wise, ingenious and modest statement, I do not know. Names and attributes must be accommodated to the essence of things, and not the essence to the names, since things come first, and names afterwards. They seemed to forget that the increase of known truths stimulates the investigation, establishment and growth of the arts, not their diminution or destruction. Mathematics is the language in which God has written the universe. In the future, there will be opened a gateway, and a road to a large and excellent science into which minds more piercing than mine shall penetrate to recesses still deeper. Believe me, if I were again beginning my studies, I should follow the advice of Plato, and start with mathematics. I think that in the discussion of natural problems, we ought to begin not with the scriptures, but with experiments and demonstrations. To me, a great ineptitude exists on the part of those who would have it that God made the universe more in proportion to the small capacity of their reason than to his immense, his infinite, power.